Signal's hot. Stunwire is live. Here is your intelligence vector for March 26th.
We're not going to waste any time. Let's just get right to it. As of 0600 Central European Time, it is officially illegal to run an unlicensed thought in the European Union. Yes, you heard that correctly. So what's the driver behind this? It's the EU's brand new, freshly ratified Cognitive Rights Act. Now, don't let that friendly name fool you. This was never about protecting your rights. It's all about defining the state's right to access you. Think of it like a mandatory, system-level update to the human operating system, one they pushed live while everyone was asleep. And the core of this update? Well, it's the creation of a clever and, frankly, terrifying new legal fiction they're calling the cognitive commodity. So that little flash of an idea you had this morning, that fleeting moment of irritation, the melody stuck in your head, if a BCI can read it, it can now be quantified. And anything that can be quantified, you better believe it can be taxed and traded. Welcome to the marketplace of your own mind. You've got to admire the sheer audacity of the PR spin here. On the one hand, the official story is they're protecting citizens' mental IP and creating novel tax revenue. Sounds almost responsible, right? But let's look at the system-level exploit. What this actually does. It's state-sanctioned mind reading. It's a framework for pre-crime. It is, no joke, the criminalization of abstract imagination. And you can be sure, that's a feature, not a bug. Of course, every new system immediately creates its own resistance. The insurgents are already moving. We're seeing a sudden, massive spike in what they're calling analog thought generation. You know, pen and paper, for those who remember. The more sophisticated workarounds, encrypted neural loops to hide ideas, biosignal spoofing to just flood the monitors with garbage data, and of course, the classic move, just thinking your big thoughts somewhere they haven't signed on to the treaty, at least not yet. Okay, so let's track the cascade. A policy this big doesn't just happen in a bubble. It's like a boulder dropped into a pond, and the ripples are already spreading fast, creating absolute chaos, and for a select few, some very interesting opportunities. And here's our first major ripple. In a beautiful twist of unintended consequences, the synthetic pop idol Aikosama has just used its massive decentralized crypto earnings to launch a hostile takeover of its own parent company, Izanami Holdings. This is the first time a piece of software has tried to buy its creators. And the price tag on that bid? A cool $4.3 billion. And it's all backed by real assets earned from a global fan base that, frankly, could not care less if their idol is made of flesh or code. In this new world, code is capital, and it's making some serious power plays. So while the synthetics are making their moves, the humans are already fighting back. In what looks like a direct response to the EU's act, a hacktivist group out of Seoul, they're calling themselves the Synapse Liberation Front, just open-sourced a full jailbreak for the world's most common BCI monitors. And if you were wondering if there's any demand for cognitive privacy, the jailbreak was downloaded 1.2 million times in the first 3 hours. Turns out the desire to not have your daydreams taxed is a pretty universal impulse. Who could have possibly guessed? And that brings us to the end of the feed. The vectors are mapped, the cascade effects are in motion. Your intelligence briefing for today is complete. So here's the takeaway. The fundamental rules just changed. A new operating system for society is now live, and it's running whether you opted in or not. That leaves you with a very simple, very urgent question to answer. In this new architecture, are you a user or are you a feature? End of transmission.